I used to believe the worst kind of pain was losing a baby. Then I learned that there was something even darker than grief. It was discovering that the two people I trusted most in the world had quietly planned a future that only existed if I died first. 3 years ago, my heart stopped in a hospital emergency room in Portland, Oregon. The doctors later told me I was clinically dead for 47 seconds, long enough for alarms to scream through the room, long enough for nurses to start shouting instructions, long enough for my husband to think his plan had actually worked. But before I tell you how I came back to life, I need to tell you how the people closest to me almost buried me. My name is Natalie Harper, and this all started on a rainy Tuesday morning in March. Tuesdays used to be my favorite day of the week because my husband, Ethan, always left early for work. He worked in finance downtown, which meant endless meetings, expensive suits, and a constant obsession with appearances. Tuesdays gave me silence, they gave me peace. I would sit by the kitchen window with my laptop and work on the novel I had secretly been writing for nearly 3 years. Nobody knew about that manuscript except my best friend, Vanessa. Even now, saying her name makes my chest tighten. Vanessa and I met during our freshman year of college after she accidentally dumped an iced coffee across my keyboard in the library. She was dramatic and funny and painfully charming. She apologized so much that I actually felt bad for her. She bought me coffee for a week afterward, and before long, we became inseparable. She was the kind of friend who knew every version of me. She knew the insecure teenager I used to be, the struggling writer I became, and the grieving woman I eventually turned into. She stood beside me at my wedding. She held me while I cried after my mother died from cancer. She was there after my miscarriage, rubbing circles on my back while I shook from the pain. I trusted her more than anyone on earth besides Ethan. That trust almost killed me. 6 months before the poisoning, I lost my baby at 12 weeks pregnant. Ethan and I had been trying for years. When the pregnancy test finally showed positive, I sat on the bathroom floor sobbing with happiness. I remember pressing both hands against my stomach every morning, like I could somehow protect the tiny life growing inside me. Then one afternoon, I started bleeding. Everything after that became a blur of white hospital lights, numb silence, and grief that settled into my bones like winter. Ethan tried to comfort me at first, but something changed between us afterward. He stopped touching me the same way. Conversations became shorter. He stayed late at work more often. When he looked at me, there was disappointment hiding behind his sympathy, and it destroyed me little by little. I gained weight from depression. I stopped caring about makeup, stopped answering texts, stopped feeling like myself. The only person who stayed consistently present was Vanessa. She showed up with groceries, wine, and motivational speeches. She encouraged me to start drinking protein smoothies in the mornings to help me feel healthier again. A week before I collapsed, she brought over a fancy organic protein powder she claimed had changed her life. She practically begged me to try it. So that Tuesday morning, I did. I remember standing in my kitchen blending spinach, almond milk, banana slices, and 2 scoops of the powder Vanessa had given me. The rain tapped softly against the windows while I opened my laptop to work on my novel. For a few minutes, life almost felt normal again. The smoothie tasted strange, bitter, metallic, almost. I actually paused halfway through drinking it because something about it felt wrong. But I had already made it, and I hated wasting food. Depression had already turned me into someone who let vegetables rot in the fridge for weeks. I was trying to be disciplined again, so I forced myself to finish it. 20 minutes later, I was lying on my bathroom floor convulsing so violently I thought my spine might snap. My stomach felt like it was filled with razor blades. My vision blurred around the edges while sweat poured down my face. I tried to stand, but my legs collapsed underneath me. I barely managed to dial 911 before I blacked out. When I woke up again, 2 full days had passed. The room smelled sterile and cold. Machines beeped steadily around me while pain burned through every inch of my body. Ethan sat beside the bed looking exhausted. Vanessa stood near the window with tears in her eyes. They looked terrified. The doctors explained that I had ingested brodifacoum, an extremely potent rat poison that causes catastrophic internal bleeding. My organs had started shutting down before the paramedics even reached my house. At one point, my heart stopped completely. They shocked me twice to revive me. Someone had poisoned me. The police opened an attempted murder investigation immediately. Detectives searched the house, collected samples from my kitchen, and questioned everyone close to me. They tested the protein powder container Vanessa gave me, but somehow it came back completely clean, no poison, nothing suspicious. No evidence, The investigation stalled almost immediately. Everyone told me it had to be random contamination or some freak accident. But deep down, I knew somebody close to me had done it. You do not accidentally ingest enough poison to stop your heart. Someone wanted me dead. The months after the poisoning destroyed whatever remained of my mental stability, I became paranoid about everything. I stopped trusting food I did not prepare myself. I avoided restaurants. I checked expiration dates obsessively. Sometimes I would wake up gasping from nightmares where blood poured from my mouth while strangers watched me die. Ethan became colder during that period. He claimed the experience traumatized him too much and that he needed space. He started going to the gym constantly. He guarded his phone like it contained state secrets. Vanessa, meanwhile, became even more attentive. She visited almost daily. She brought homemade soup, flowers, and encouragement. She would sit beside me on the couch holding my hand while promising we would eventually find whoever did this. Sometimes I caught her watching me with an expression I could never quite understand. 5 months after the poisoning, I accidentally discovered the truth. I was doing laundry when a cheap burner phone slipped out of Ethan's gym bag and hit the floor. At first, I thought maybe it belonged to a coworker. Ethan had never mentioned owning a second phone. Something inside me twisted immediately. The phone had no password. What I found inside shattered my entire life. Hundreds of messages, thousands actually. Photos, videos, voice notes, all between Ethan and Vanessa. The affair had been going on for over a year. Long before my miscarriage, long before I nearly died. I sat on the bathroom floor reading everything while my hands shook so hard, I could barely scroll. There were messages mocking my depression. Messages complaining about my weight gain after losing the baby. Ethan told Vanessa he felt trapped because divorcing me right after the miscarriage would make him look heartless. Then I found messages from the week before the poisoning. Ethan wrote that he wished there were an easier way out of the marriage. Vanessa replied with 6 words that changed me forever. Maybe there is if we are smart. The conversations became deliberately vague after that. They referred to my death as solving the problem. They discussed my life insurance policy worth $250,000. They talked about starting over together. And then I found the message that made my blood run cold. Vanessa admitted the poison was supposed to make my death look like suicide. She believed my depression after the miscarriage would make everyone assume I had done it to myself. I threw up in the bathroom sink after reading that. The 2 people I loved most had calmly discussed my death while pretending to comfort me through grief. I should have gone straight to the police, but I knew the messages alone were not enough. They were careful, no direct confession, no explicit plan. Any decent lawyer could create doubt, and if they realized I knew the truth, they might finish what they started. So instead, I copied everything from the phone onto a flash drive and put the burner phone back exactly where I found it. Then I started planning my revenge. The first thing I did was hire a divorce attorney in secret. I learned that Oregon was a no-fault divorce state, meaning Ethan cheating alone would not help me financially. But conspiracy to commit attempted murder was different. I needed undeniable evidence. The second thing I did was rebuild myself. I started going to the gym every morning. I cut my hair, bought new clothes. Lost the weight depression had wrapped around me. At first, it was about survival. Then it became something darker. Every pound I lost made me feel stronger, sharper, dangerous. Ethan noticed the transformation immediately. Suddenly he started flirting with me again, complimenting me, acting affectionate. I played along beautifully. Meanwhile, I quietly watched everything. I installed monitoring software onto Ethan's phone while he showered. I recovered deleted emails from Vanessa's cloud account. Slowly, piece by piece, I built a complete picture of who they really were. That was when I uncovered Vanessa's second secret. She worked as a pharmaceutical sales representative for a large medical company. She had spent years climbing the corporate ladder and was close to landing a massive promotion. On the surface, she looked wildly successful. Underneath, she was stealing prescription medications from company inventory and selling them online for extra cash. I found emails from supervisors questioning missing sample medications. I found fake inventory reports, hidden payment accounts, messages arranging illegal sales. The company suspected something was wrong but lacked enough evidence to act. The moment I realized that, everything clicked into place. I decided I would not destroy Vanessa quickly. I wanted her to unravel slowly, the same way my life had unraveled after the poisoning. So I created a man named Adrian Cole. Adrian was everything Vanessa wanted: handsome, successful, recently divorced, emotionally vulnerable enough to make her feel needed. I used photos from a male model's abandoned social media account and built an entirely fake life around him. Then I matched with Vanessa on a dating app. She responded within hours. Watching her fall for Adrian was horrifyingly easy. Within days, she was flirting constantly. Within weeks, she was emotionally attached. She told him things she had never even told me during 20 years of friendship. She admitted she had always envied my marriage. She admitted stealing Ethan made her feel powerful. She admitted she never regretted poisoning me. Reading those messages felt like swallowing glass, but I kept going. For nearly 4 months, I became the man she thought she loved. I learned every insecurity she carried, every fantasy, every weakness. She became addicted to Adrian's attention. Then I slowly started pulling away. I made Adrian distant, busy, emotionally unavailable. Vanessa spiraled almost immediately. She sent long, desperate messages begging for reassurance. That was when Adrian casually mentioned having a friend who struggled with anxiety and insomnia. Vanessa instantly offered access to prescription medications. Within days, she openly discussed stealing drugs from her company inventory and selling them illegally. She sent photos, prices, detailed explanations. Everything was documented. I compiled all of it into a massive evidence file and anonymously sent it to her company's compliance department and human resources division. 48 hours later, Vanessa was fired. Within a week, investigators uncovered years of theft connected directly to her accounts. Criminal charges followed almost immediately: felony theft, illegal distribution of prescription drugs, fraud. Her entire life collapsed overnight. And Ethan, the second Vanessa became inconvenient. He abandoned her completely. That was the funniest part. After risking everything to destroy me for him, she learned that he never truly loved her either. 2 days after her firing, Vanessa called me sobbing uncontrollably. Her voice sounded broken beyond recognition. She said she had lost her apartment. She could not afford legal fees. Ethan stopped answering her calls. Then she said something that nearly made me laugh out loud. She told me I was her best friend. She begged me for help. I let her cry for almost 15 minutes before I finally spoke. "I know what you did." The silence on the line felt endless. Then came the denial. She called me paranoid and unstable. Claimed the trauma had damaged my mind. So I told her about Ethan's burner phone. And then I told her about Adrian. I explained that every confession she sent him had actually gone directly to me. Every secret, every lie, every detail about poisoning me. The sound she made after that did not even sound human anymore. It sounded like pure terror. She screamed at me, called me evil, said I ruined her life. I remember laughing softly before answering. "No, Vanessa, you ruined your own life the moment you decided mine was disposable." She hung up after that. I never heard from her again directly, but Ethan eventually called me in a panic. Apparently Vanessa threatened to confess everything to the police unless he helped her. He sounded terrified. He warned me that investigators might look into my catfishing scheme too. I calmly reminded him that pretending to be a fake boyfriend online was not remotely comparable to attempted murder. Then I made him an offer: sign the divorce papers, give me the house, the savings, and every financial asset I request, or I hand every piece of evidence directly to the authorities. He asked if I truly wanted to ruin his life. The truth was, his life was already ruined. He just had not accepted it yet. Right now, the divorce is almost finalized. Ethan is desperately trying to avoid criminal charges while protecting his career. Vanessa is preparing for court and facing years in prison. And me, I finally finished my novel. It is about betrayal, survival, revenge, about a woman everyone expected to collapse quietly after being destroyed, only for her to become the most dangerous person in the room. Sometimes my therapist tells me revenge will never heal me. Maybe she is right, but healing was never the point. The point was surviving. The point was refusing to let the people who tried to bury me walk away untouched. A few weeks ago, I received one final text from an unknown number. "Please help me, I am sorry for everything." I stared at the message for a long time before deleting it. Because the truth is, people like Vanessa never apologize because they suddenly grow a conscience. They apologize because consequences finally reach them, and I am done rescuing people who would have smiled while lowering me into the ground.